So, next up in the carpool, we've got a guy that has 10 ATP world titles. He was number 4 in the world and was famous for beating Rafa at the French Open. Who am I talking about? We're going to find out shortly. Drive, can we open the door? Robin Soderling.
Hello.
Come on in.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
What a pleasure. Hey. Robin Soderling, guys. Welcome to the Pro Direct Tennis Carpool.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
No, it's a pleasure to have you ultimately. It's always fun to start with a little bit of music.
All right.
So we might want to connect you up, hit shuffle.
Okay.
See what bombshells come out.
Oh, wow.
You up for that?
Exciting, of course.
Okay.
Oh, this one's actually pretty good. This Cold Little Heart. It's from that Netflix series. What was the name of it? Big Little Lies. Have you seen it?
Big Little Lies. I haven't seen it. Is it good?
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah?
Yeah. So I stole this song from that series. This one's good.
Okay. We met maybe 2 years ago as a company. You came down to our headquarters and we were happy to have you. We had some fun. What have you been up to since then?
We have been up to a lot of things. We work a lot. Me, myself, I mostly develop new products.
Yeah.
So now at that time, I think we didn't do strings yet. We had only balls. Yeah. So now we're doing strings, balls, grips, basically all kinds of different tennis accessories. Yeah. You know, I always said since I'm putting my name on the product, I have to be able to stand for it. So I want to be the one, of course, together with some other players, coaches, but mostly me. I'm the one developing all the products. Yeah. And that takes a lot of time. It's a lot of place testing, a lot of travels to the factories and stuff, but I really enjoy it. Oh, that's a classic, yeah.
We'll play this.
Walking on a Dream.
Yeah.
I kind of listen to pretty much, I wouldn't say everything, but when I was traveling a lot, when I played, I listened to a lot of Swedish music. Because I was pretty homesick, I was missing Sweden a lot, and that's probably not very fun for the viewers to listen to, but there's probably a few Swedish songs here.
Let's talk about the new RS Edition ball, right? You were lovely enough to send us this packaging earlier in the week. Here's one that Robin prepared earlier. So let's have a look inside quick. This box is amazing, by the way. Like I said,
like Christmas.
Your design is great. So, comes in like this, little mention, signature.
Yeah.
It is like Christmas, you're right. And then inside, here's some lovely balls. So, do you want to crack one of them open?
Of course.
Let's do it. Ah.
You love that sound,
I still love that sound.
I love the smell.
You love the smell?
You know when you have a smell that reminds you of something? This always reminds me of when I was a kid playing at the courts in my home village.
Yeah. Yeah. Still reminds you of it now?
Yeah, at that time there were only one court, like a really small tennis. I wouldn't even call it a club, but the whole building smelled like this.
What's the process with you for this?
This, yeah.
You can have that. I'll have one of these.
This one was, I mean, it still took some time, but this one was easier than the first one. It's the same core. This one, the new one, the Tour Edition, it's a little bit faster. It's a little bit more bouncy, a little bit higher. And a little bit harder. So we played the first couple of years when we did ATP tournament in Stockholm, we played with the old black edition. Yeah. For this year we switched to the new Tour edition, which was highly appreciated. I would say the better player you are, the more you would probably like the new Tour edition version. Yeah, and also it suits better for slower conditions because it's a little bit faster.
Like back in the day, if you were going to be warming up for a game, did you ever put music on
always
before that?
Always, yeah. Either music. Throughout my last couple of years on the tour, I was listening a lot to audiobooks.
Okay.
Yeah, kind of made me relax a little bit. But it was different. Sometimes I wanted to get pumped up. You know, I was a little bit tired. I listened to music. Yeah. Some days I just wanted to chill with an audiobook.
Just kind of rest your mind. Yeah. Like take the mind off the job.
It actually works. It's pretty good. And you see a lot of players do that.
Yeah, I bet.
Some players even walk on the court with their headphones on.
So you've had a great career. You were ranked number 4 in the world.
Yeah, that was my best rank.
10 ATP titles, I think, and that famous battle against Rafa at the French. So things like that you can't teach that to a coach that hasn't been on the tour.
No, not really. I'm not. You know, to be a good coach, you necessarily don't have to, be a good player, or have to be a good player, but for me, when I started to work with Magnus Norman, for example, I think he was number 2 or 3 in the world, you know, he did 10 years earlier, he did all the things I was doing right now, and it's the same thing for Elias. You know, what he's doing, what he's going through right now, I have been doing. So it's just, when he asks me things, you know, it's just good for him sometimes to have someone to talk to that really understand what he's saying, you know. And he always asks me like, oh, I feel like this. Did you ever feel like this? And most of the times, you know, I felt exactly the same. Probably the same for everybody. Sometimes you feel great, confidence is up here when you're winning matches, but you lose a couple of matches, then you feel like you're down here again.
We met with a player we sponsor yesterday called Cam Norrie, and we asked him, does he have any advice for young players at the start of their journey, like Elias? You know, he was saying the best thing is to enjoy tennis, enjoy yourself. Don't take too much too seriously, and you'll play your best tennis when you're having the most fun with it. Is that something that you'd agree? It's
a really good advice, but it's really hard to follow all the time. And I think, you know, mentally, tennis is a really tough sport because there's no real off-season like many of the other sports, team sports. You know, football, they have a good 3-4 months when they can rest and recover and prepare for the next season. You know, in tennis we have 3-4 weeks, that's it. So it basically goes all year around.
That break between Christmas is so short.
Exactly, and that's why it's hard, you know, and you always have to stay on top. There's always the next match, there's always the next tournament coming up, which is good in one way when you're not playing well, because if you lose, you know that, okay, next week I have a new chance. But also when you play well, you know that, okay, next week I won this week, next week is another tournament coming up, and I could lose in the first round, and then most of my confidence is gone. So it's just, you know, I think one good thing to focus on, and I always tell Elias that he should focus on trying to become a better player every day, not focus so much on what other players are doing, because you can't really predict what they're doing, and all you can focus on is yourself.
And what works for them might not work for him either.
Of course,
this is it.
Everyone's different.
Yeah. Well, I think there's some great advice in there for young players coming up.
When I grew up, basically everything I did after school with my friends was just doing sports. Of course, I played a lot of tennis, but I also played, you know, football in my backyard. I played ice hockey, everything. Now these days, you know, you see the kids come home after kindergarten or school, and they straight away they go on their iPads or iPhones playing video games. It's, I think, you know, doing sports as a kid is really good for you.
What a pleasure it's been. Thank you for joining us in the ProDirect Tennis Carpool, Robin.
Thank you so much.
It's been an honour, and thanks for taking the time out to join us. We're going to let you go, jump on court now, I believe.
All right.
And we might see you out there.
Of course.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, take care.
You too, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. That was Robin Soderling, guys. What a pleasure.